There's a question, what should I recite before going to sleep? Now, in English they say that sleep is the brother of death. When a person is sleeping, from afar you look at the person, the body is lifeless, not moving. It seems like the person has passed away. So certainly sleep is such a thing that, before our deen even teaches us that before we sleep, certain things are to be recited. Perhaps you may know some of them, or perhaps you may want to know if you don't. And listen carefully, because there are certain things that can be recited before sleeping which are very beneficial for you and me as Muslims, as believers, as ummatis of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I will advise you, teach this to your kids. Please, teach this to your children, because it will benefit them as well, inshallah azza wa jal. It is reported from the great Sahabi, Sayyidina Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has stated, if you recite Suratul Fatiha, and Qul huwallahu ahad, subhanallah azza wa jal, Surah Ikhlas, Qul huwallahu ahad, the entire surah, when you get into bed, you will be secured from everything except death. Subhanallah azza wa jal. Kya baat hai Madina ki. Imagine that, my dear viewers and listeners of Madani Channel. Just reciting Surah Fatiha and reciting Surah Ikhlas one time, you will be safe from everything. You will be protected against all wrongs or evils out there, besides al-maut, besides death. So something simple that we can recite. Remember, our ulama ikram have mentioned that when we are lying down, then before reciting, we should rather fold our legs. Whilst we are lying down, fold the legs and then recite, out of adab and respect for whatever we are reciting. Now listen to this. Sayyidina Abu Sa'id Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, a famous Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has said that the Prophet of creation, the peace of our heart and mind, the most generous and kind, sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wa alihi wasallam, has stated, when getting into bed, whoever recites the following, Allah azza wa jal forgives his sins, even if they are equal. Even if they are equal to the foam of the sea, even if they are equal to the leaves of the trees, even if they are equal to the grains of the sands of the deserts, and even if they are equal to the number of days of the world. Allahu Akbar, subhanallah azza wa jal. This is mentioned in Sunnah al-Tirmidhi, hadith 3408. Very beautiful, very simple as well. Perhaps you may know it. Let us put this into practice, and inshallah azza wa jal, Allah azza wa jal, through His infinite mercy, His grace, will forgive us through the blessings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That dua, that wazifa is Astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. Again, Astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. Once more. Astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. The translation of this is, I seek forgiveness from Allah azza wa jal, except whom there is none worthy of worship, who is the ever-living and who is the sustainer of others. I incline towards Him. Subhanallah azza wa jal. So no matter what sins that a person has, it will be erased by Allah azza wa jal. Yes, we must still also make sincere tawbah in the court of Allah azza wa jal for our minor sins, our major sins as well. Major sins, many of them, perhaps even minor sins, you will have to fulfill the hukuk of that person. For example, if a person usurped the property, perhaps stole the property of another individual, besides making tawbah, besides begging sincerely from Allah Azza wa Jal for forgiveness, we will also have to return that property to the owner. If we missed our salah, besides making tawbah, we will have to make the qada. We will have to read all those missed salahs that we have missed. May Allah forgive us and assist us, help us to fulfill our obligations, our duties, and be obedient to Him Azza wa Jal and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Amira Ahlul Sunnah Dam Barakatuhum Al-Aliyah advises us before sleeping, before going to sleep, perform 2 rakats, make a fresh wudu, and read 2 rakats nafil of Salatul Tawbah. And you can recite after Surah Al-Fatiha any surah that you wish. When you complete the salam, now make dua of forgiveness for yourself, whatever sins you have committed for the day or in the past. And also make dua of forgiveness for your parents. Never forget them. Your parents, your children, your siblings, your brothers, your sisters, other relatives, fellow Muslims, wherever they are in the world, whether you know them or not. For the ummah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you will sleep with a clear mind. And you will be training your mind not to commit those sins again. I mentioned that make a fresh wudu. Do you know it's mentioned in Kanzul Ummal? Beautiful hadith pak that states the person who sleeps in a state of wudu is similar to one who worships in the state of fasting. Allahu Akbar. Imagine that. We're getting free reward, this investment. This is an investment. It's a spiritual investment. A free reward. Subhanallah Azza wa Jal. That sleeping in a state of wudu, if we made that fresh wudu, and we performed the Salatul Tawbah, and immediately thereafter we made the dua and we went straight to bed to sleep, then kya baat hai Madina ki? That person that sleeps in a state of wudu is like one who worships in the state of fasting. Yes, don't forget the dua. Dua before sleeping. Allahumma bismika amutu wa ahya. Learn this dua. If you are punctual with the different programs of Dawud Islami, you'll be learning this as well. Ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi was asked about something to protect Iman. And Ala Hazrat rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi had mentioned a person who recites Surah Kafirun, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, right to the end, the whole surah, before sleeping, inshallah Azza wa Jal, will pass away with Iman. Subhanallah Azza wa Jal. If you wake up, if you have to talk, then recite Surah Kafirun again. The last thing you must do is recite this, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, you will get this benefit. It's mentioned in Sunan Abi Dawood. Sayyidina Nawfil radiallahu anhu says that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told me, recite the whole of Surah Kafirun before sleeping, because this is a freedom from polytheism, a freedom from shirk. Allahu Akbar. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability, the enthusiasm to implement these things in our life, and may we be amongst those pious Muslims who have that favor of Allah Azza wa Jal.